Okay, if you saw my other video of using the MagPi case here from Retro Flag and making a no tools Sega Genesis Classic or Mini, whatever you want to call it, I'm doing the same thing, but a couple people actually mentioned doing the Blast 16, and I was thinking of doing it. It just spurred it on, and I'm glad they made the comments, because I don't get a lot of comments on my videos, and that's going to actually come up in a couple other things here too in regards to some of my other videos. But what we have here is the case, and everything you have here, yes, there is a tool here. So the no tool required is more of a no additional tools. When you buy this case here, it comes with a screwdriver, not this particular one, but it comes with one. So you don't need to get an extra screwdriver or find one. You also don't need the kit to do this, or the case, but I'm going to use it. And the reason I even have it out, because if you watch my other video, you know my Raspberry Pi is in here, is because I need to take it apart. And if you hear that rattling, that's because I'm using the SD storage for the screws so I don't lose them. I love they did that because I always end losing screws. So here's basically everything you need. We got the case. We got the Raspberry Pi. I'm using the B+3 or 3B+. I have the official USB Sega re-release controller, which the shoulder buttons. Actually a really nice setup. HDMI cable. No, you don't see a TV up here, but if you don't have a TV, you probably need to step back and go to a different video or something. USB, SD card, and an adapter for going from mini to full size, because my computer doesn't have the mini, it has the full size one. And then here I have a CanaKit 2.5 amp 5 volt plug for it, so I don't get the lightning bolt effect. That actually is, that's a video I actually get a lot of comments on, or I used to. Get a lot of thumbs down on that video. I think people missed the point that I was saying that this is you want to go with like a 2.5 voltage of this particular one. Other people are saying they're using 3 volts, getting the issue with the lightning bolts, but that could vary if it's not that specific CanaKit one, because of the fact that you don't always get 2.5 amps. Another thing is, if I do get the lightning bolt, it could be this, not the Raspberry Pi, but the device inside it. But starting out, one of the reasons why this got taken apart is, see if we can get this in focus here. This has a safe shutdown right here, and I have it off. I never really care too much about treating my memory cards well, but I'm going to put it on because the Blast 16 is supposed to have a safe script, and that's why I had the tool out and I took it apart. So now I'm going to get this put back together, and we are going to go ahead and just throw in all the devices here. So we'll get the USB in there, and we're going to get the card in there right away, and then we're going to get the computer turned on. Then I'll get that put back together. So on your PC, which I'm using Windows 10 for, I just went to blast16project.com. I'll put the links to all the programs or anything I use in the description also. And if you find out I didn't, just leave a comment, let me know I missed it, and I'll get it in there. But what I'm going to go to is the downloads. But you'll see right off the bat, here's kind of like a layout of how it looks. Let's go to downloads. What I'm going to do is get the latest build. You'll see on this tab here, and this will come into play, is an instruction or user manual. And that is actually right below the latest builds, user manual here. So I do suggest reading that over also. But for now, let's just download this. Hit save. And for some of these items, I will be fast forwarding just for time's sake. Nobody wants to sit here for 3 minutes watching this download. So I'm going to let this go and skip ahead. Okay, so now we'll go to open folder. And here you'll see I have the Blast 16 release. I'm going to right click on it. And since I'm using Windows 7, I'm just going to hit extract all. And then hit extract. Try again. There's not enough space on your OS. Well, that's not a good sign. So I'm going to hit cancel to that. And if you're wondering why I got that, I'm just going to click my PC here. You'll see I am down to very little room. That actually might be a video for later. That's why I have that box attached to the back of my computer. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to find another place to throw this. So let's move this over to my D drive. And then we're going to right click on it and try extract all here. Because, you know, why fix a problem when I can put it off till later? Well, here we go. We'll extract. Once again, I'm going to skip ahead here. Okay, now that it's all downloaded, you'll see I have the user manual in here. That's the same one that I showed you below the link for the image. But this is what I care about the most, is this image file here. So I know this is in my D drive, and it's in the Blast 16 release folder. The other really important part is where I'm putting this. I'm not putting it on my USB drive, which you'll see I already created some folders in here, and that is to match up with the file structure that they want. So like in my last video you saw I created those, and what I did here was I created these, so you can just hit new folder, or you can right click, go new folder, and go that way also. If I go in the games here, you'll see I have MD. This is where you would add more of the system. So if I wanted to, I could put GG, and that would be for Game Gear. I'm going to leave that out for right now because I'm not doing any Game Gear in there right now. I'm going to double click here, and you'll see that I did put some games in here already. Now the trick to this is, let's pull up another window here. Let's go to a box arts here. Let's pull this up here. You'll notice that my game Batman space revenge space of the Joker blah 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 USA zip matches the box art exactly, except for this is a PNG file. You can do PNG or JPEG, but the title itself has to match in order for it to hook up. Otherwise, it will not work. But since I have that all set to go, what I want to do now is get this burnt to an image. So, for that, I want to open up Win32 Disk Manager. And there are other ones out there, so if you have one program that already burns an image to an SD card, go ahead. You'll actually notice there is a, if I right click on here, burn disk image option, but that's for going to CD, not to an SD card. I can see that E is my hard drive that's on the computer. It's an external one. Marvel is my Iron Man USB stick. I don't want to go over that because that's actually holding all my ROMs and box art. New volume here is SD card that I have in here, so that's the one I'm going to go over. So I want to switch this off of E, make sure I don't click F, and go to G. And I'm always a little nervous about this part because I haven't done it myself yet that I can remember, but it could be screwed up. So I put that in the D drive, Blast 16 folder, and there's the image, so I'm going to pick that. And then just double check G, and G is my SD card. Oops, didn't mean to click on it there. So we're going to hit yes. And we're going to let that image burn over. This will take a little while, so once again, I will wait till it's finished, and then we will edit through to that. It's just not recognizing the card anymore because it is a Linux-based system, not a Windows-based system. So I'm going to go ahead and just close out of all this. And actually shouldn't need the computer anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the SD card out and click that in here. I'll leave this flap open because it is kind of hard to open up just in case we have an issue here. And we're going to turn it on. So all this lettering, especially the red, oh my god, here's an error thing, is completely normal, and it does say it in the manual even if you download the PDF. But otherwise, all you need to do is reboot here. In the manual it says to unplug it and plug it back in. So that's what I did. I did not shut it off first. I did exactly what it says. Kill the power to it and bring it back up. So right away when it came up into the system, you'll see it's scanning for Bluetooth devices. I did not actually have any Bluetooth devices hooked up. I was going to use the USB controller that you saw. So what I did is I plugged it in, and as soon as I plugged it in, it recognized it and fired right into the system, which was great to see. From here, I could get into everything I needed. Up and down is your favorites in your regular list, which there's no games on here yet. You'll see it's even on the MegaDrive symbol still. But Start will get you into your menu, and you can go in and change pretty much everything in there. But right now, we need to just get games on it. So as I go through it, you can see there's a ton of different settings here, but I'm actually going to just go ahead and push the reset button, and that should put us into a safe shutdown, and then I'll actually turn it off before it reboots back up. We're going to then pull out the USB stick out of the computer and put it into the Raspberry Pi and turn it back on, and this will load the games up. While it's booting up, the first thing it's going to do, it's going to move all the games it finds onto the card of the Raspberry Pi. Then once it's done with that, it's going to mention the box art. And because I loaded mine in PNG, it's going to convert them to JPEGs first, which that can take a bit, especially considering I put over 1,000, almost 2,000 files on, which in retrospect I should not have done. It causes me a lot of issues, and it's something you don't want to do. I left it in the video because if anyone else has this issue, they know what it is. You're not supposed to do a lot of ROMs on here. I didn't give box art a lot of thought, and it turns out that that is an issue. Another thing to note is that you don't want to put too many games on here. Last I heard there was like a 600 game limitation, but you do want to be careful how much you're sticking on here. So maybe putting all those box arts wasn't a good idea, but we're going to find out. As you can see, I'm at the screen here. Now this is the officially released Retrobit controller for the Sega, and this is the USB version. And you'll see it has bumpers at the top, so you'll see just going left to right, which is actually, this is awesome. And then I can go single game at a time. And it looks like it got all my box art. And I did throw 2 ROMs on there, so let's see here. Let's keep the world one. Let's go to Start. A for accept. Delete games. C to delete. A to delete active. A to confirm. Audio got a little choppy there. Didn't like that. Let's hope that was just because of the stuff I had on there. Okay. All right. So we're going to do one more reboot here. Let me set this down. Hit the reset button to do the safe shutdown. Alright, so I am getting some sound issues. I do not have the ability to overclock right now, mainly because I didn't put a fan on it and I don't want it to overheat. So I'm going to jump back in here with an over recording. You probably notice my audio bounces back and forth. It does a lot in my videos because some of it gets recorded while I'm doing it and other of it's done in post. And one of the reasons I'm jumping back in here is really just to save you some time. I'm going to let the video play here in the background while I'm saying this part here, but I did overclock the Raspberry Pi, and it made no difference. And to remove the folders or the files, all the box art, I did not set up SSH or any of that stuff, and it was supposed to be a no tools build other than that screwdriver. So I actually started over. I grabbed another memory stick I had, just because I didn't want to overwrite the one I had already done, and just in case for comparison reasons too. And I only put the box art for the games that I put in there. I didn't copy them all over there, so I don't think I even had maybe 30 games in there. Fired up beautifully. Quick boot time, music was fine, gameplay was fine, everything was good, and it was actually what I would really expect from something that would be store-bought, especially considering Blast 16 supposedly was supposed to be the Sega Mini Classics operating system, but they ran out of time with it. I do hope to see more done with it. Limitation on ROMs is something I'm not crazy about. I know a lot of people are like, well, you won't play them all, but it's just like anything. On Nintendo Switch, for example, I wish it had Netflix or Plex on it, something like that, whereas other people are like, well, it doesn't need that. Well, I look at it this way. I'd rather have it and not play it than not have it and want it. So for me, I'm going to probably be going back to RapPi, which is a shame because it is a beautiful interface. And actually, as I say that, I'm probably going to keep this. I'm probably going to tweak it to my favorite games and everything, and then I'll have just a second one that has everything I want. But other than that, it actually really is a beautiful interface, and it's nice to see something like this on the RapPi, or not RapPi, but on Raspberry Pi, whereas RapPi has Super Nintendo and NES themes that people have made. Other than that, if you just want a select few games that you enjoy on there, and when I say a select few, you can still have plenty of games on there. They, like I mentioned earlier, they say it's around 600. Just don't overkill with the box art. And you can do other things like Game Gear, Sega CD, so I might play around with that too. I really do like that. I was always a Genesis person. And you can see as you're watching the video here, there's load states. It really is nice. You know, like you hold the mode button down on the joystick or joypad, gamepad, and hold the mode down and hit A, that saves. Mode B loads. In the game it loads. And mode C will take you back to the game list. If you hit reset, it does a safe shutdown and then reboots. If you turn it off, it does a safe shutdown. It's really nice. You just got to remember that if you're like me and you already had it built into the case, you need to take it apart and flip the switch if you just did a hard reset or a hard shutdown originally and had it set to no. But other than that, I do like it. I do like it's a simple favorites setup. It's really clean in my opinion. I actually, even with its limitations, I think it is really good because as people do say you're not going to play it, that's true. And I have more than one Raspberry Pi, so I can create an environment where I have the games I want. But other than that, I hope you liked the video. I hope you understand why I leave my mistakes in there, because I watch all these videos and they're always so perfect, and mine are far from it. I have audio issues, filming issues. I have to redo things all the time. My hard drive was full. That was just a dumb move on my side of it. There was other issues that didn't actually make it into here. But other than that, I hope you liked the video. Share, like it. Check out my other video. Give it a like also on the power supply thing to help me out with all the people who don't like that video. Other than that, if you don't want this and you want to just use RapPi, check out my first build of no tools with this. Other than that, thanks.